This is Venba. It's some kind of cooking game. I don't know anything else about it, so let's just push a button and get started. And hit play. I want to cook. I wish I was better at cooking. I'm really good at making improvised pasta. Think well before you dare and never ruminate once in action. 1988. Okay, we got this family. Is that me? Am I the couch sleeper with an airplane blanket? Leaving already? Ayo, sorry, did I wake you? What time is it? 8. How are you feeling? Tired. Just like yesterday. Okay, I'll call your school and say you can't come in today. I was just about to leave for work. You should go back to sleep. But finding your children asleep on the couch in the morning is something that absolutely happens in our house all the time. Just randomly. We put them to bed. They wake up on the couch. I don't know. What about your lunch? There's some leftover idli batter and garlic chutney from yesterday. You can steam some idlis quickly. I don't know if I can figure all that out. It's okay. I was just about to leave. It's just idlis. Very easy. It'll take me too long, Venba. Don't worry. I can just survive on the coffee machine. Fine, I'll make it then. No, I'm not going to be a martyr. Let's say okay. No, it's okay. Venba, really, it's fine. No. I need to make lunch for myself anyway. Oh, I'm going to be a martyr either way. Just tell the school. I'll be done in a minute. Okay, so when he talked about going to school, I thought this was his kid who was not going to school because she's sick, but now I'm getting the sense that this is... Is this his wife? And the school, like, one of them works at a school? Is that what's going on? Well, either way, it's Venba. All right. Let's get this done fast. Although... Should I try my mother's recipe for once? The way I make idlis are never as soft as hers. They would always cheer me up when I'm feeling sick. I should just make them her way today. See, this... this whole, like, I guess I'm sick, but I guess I'll get up, and then just making more and more ambitious plans is familiar. If the recipe is still readable, that is. Okay, we got some intense cooking music. Okay, so I've got a controller controlling a mouse cursor. I imagine this was probably made natively for a PC. Tools: idli plate, towel, cooker, ingredients: water and batter, holes to let steam through. These also have holes so the batter can cook. Make sure to blah 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 or it will leak. Arrange the plate so steam can cook batter properly. Okay, so I have to arrange this plate and the batter in a certain way, and there's a thing I don't know that I'm supposed to do to keep it from leaking. I've not made idli with these kinds of plates before. The only difference from mine seems to be the holes on the plates. The recipe also calls for towels. I'm not sure why. I guess the towel goes... Does it go under the plate, or does it go on the plate between it and the batter, maybe? But Amma swears this method makes idlis a lot softer. Okay, so this is batter. This is water. This is... What is this? Is this the pot lid? Oh, it's the pot lid. And then does this... Okay, this goes in here. Right? Are there other pages to this book? Oh, this is fascinating. I'm going to ruin the crap out of some idlis right now. Like, I've never had an idli before. The fact that it's made out of batter and it's steamed makes me think I would like it, but I'm very confused. Okay, I'm gonna put the idli plate in here. No. Oh, the batter, a plate without batter. Oh, right. Okay, so we put the batter on first. So I guess we put the batter on. Okay, I was wondering if it was gonna make me do it on every single one, but no. Okay, so should I have... So I can put this here. Do I put a towel on top? Okay, well, what if I... Okay, I guess I can't undo what I did, so it must have been right. What does this do? What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know what this is. Okay, so water. Okay, I've put water in. I assume underneath the plate I've put water. What's the towel for? I probably was supposed to already use the towel. Cloudcraft is saying... Says, oh, there's multiple plates. Oh, I see how this goes. Okay. I had not caught on to the fact that I had multiple plates here. So, okay, so a towel will not go on that. But I can... Okay, so let me rotate this a little bit. So I want... Okay, let's arrange it like that so that we've got sort of a cross shape here. And then I'll do more of an X shape with the next plate. Okay, so let's do an X shape. Like that. And then we'll do another one. Thank you, Cloudcraft, for reminding me that there were instructions in the book that would help me figure out what I was doing. Okay, that looks right. Or out of batter. Does a towel go on top? The towels are for... She doesn't know... Maybe I'm not capable of doing the right thing with the towels because she doesn't know what the right thing to do with the towel is. Unless... Oh, wait. I've got help here. No, I don't want help. Let's turn this on. Let's see how it turns out. This is going to be a disaster. That should be long enough. Let's remove the lid and see how it turned out. Oh, the batter leaked through the plate holes and spilt everywhere. Let's try again. Okay. So, I'm just going to try putting the towel on everything. This is like an... Okay! That's what I originally thought it was for, but once I had put the batter on, I couldn't undo it, so I just committed. But that's what you do. You put... Oh, wait. I should put the water in first, probably. And then the plate is there in a cross configuration. Then we'll do an X configuration next. There we go. And then we'll do another cross configuration. This is great, by the way. Like, it's very different from other cooking games I've played, but it's cool. It's like teaching me this, like, arcane method that I never knew anything about. All right, let's see how it turns out. That should be long enough. Oh, okay. So folks are telling me in the chat that apparently when I rotate that thing, I'm not just rotating the top plate, I'm rotating all of the plates. So if they always go on in the cross configuration, then I need to rotate them to be an X first at each stage. Okay. We'll do this again. Thank you, chat people. Because, yeah, that didn't occur to me initially. So we put it on in the cross configuration, but then we rotate it so that it's in the... It is really hard to do this. I'm moving the cursor out so that I've got more room here. Come on, I just want a perfect X. There we go. Okay. So now, when the next one goes on, it'll go on with the dough, with the batter directly on top of the things, and then the holes. Oh, I had it just right, and I moved away. I panicked. Come on. There we go. All right. I almost feel like I could make idlis now. Not really, but... Okay. Coalition is saying, so you're getting your husband fired and wasting a week's worth of food. It's fine. I'm sure he's got some very, very well-paying job. And I'm sure they're very tolerant of him being late. Let's remove the lid. It's done. And now I'm just going to stare at it blank-eyed. Yes! I successfully made idlis. Oh, wow, you even took the time to make our faces. I think you forgot about my beard, though. You really didn't have to do this. What else could I do? My husband can't figure out idlis. I couldn't even figure out idlis. Venba, I told you to go to sleep. You've been feeling sick and exhausted. You didn't have to cook. It's not a big deal if I skipped lunch once. Pavelan, you're making me choose between resting and letting you starve. That's not a fair choice to me. You're not letting me starve. I know, but that's what it feels like. And even if I had let you leave, what will I do for lunch? I'd still have had to cook, and as exhausted and sick as I am, you just wouldn't have seen it. I don't have a coffee machine here to survive on either. Is it so hard for you to cook even on days like this? You're right. Sorry. Did you look for tickets back home? Yes, it's expensive, but we can manage it. So, do you think we should go? I don't know. Let me ask the boss again if he can make me full-time. But unless the school gives you more shifts, or my boss changes his mind, it's going to be tough to stay in Canada. You know there are other options, but I wouldn't mind going back. I'm sure I can teach again at my old job. And there's nothing really keeping us here. That would be nice. Okay, well, why don't you leave with me now? I'll walk you to the doctor's office before I go to work. Oh, no, I'm sure all I need is some sleep. You've been saying that for 2 days now. Come on, I'll walk you. Doctors are free here. Free. A weird guy staring at her from the bookcase. How did we run out of batter? Probably because I wasted all that batter. Venba, are you home? What'd the doctor say? So the boss didn't even consider it. Unless a miracle happens, I say we start packing. What? What's with you? You never told me what the doctor said. Are we pregnant? Well, I think you should eat first. Okay. I mean, no, there's no way he can eat now. Idlis again? Ah! What is cutting into you today? Has she made 3 faces? It's 3 faces. And a sauce friend as well. So I guess this means we have a reason to stay. I mean, raising a child back home wouldn't be so bad either. But there's a chance at a very different life here. It's only going to get more expensive, though, and we're barely scraping by as it is. Radithcord said, hopefully it's happy news. Otherwise, decorating food to convey the info would be a bit weird. I'm trying to imagine her, like arranging the food into cancer. Or something like, she's like, hey, look at the food. It's cancer. We can't provide everything other parents would be able to. What if they resent us for that when they grow up? Maybe moving back to India is our best option after all. Then they could resent us for taking away this opportunity. So he's hit on the basic conundrum of parenting, which is no matter what you do, there will be bad things in your children's life, and some of them will be because of your choices, and they will resent you for them. That's inescapable. Your kids are going to resent you. You just pick what for. What do you think, Venba? Why aren't you saying anything? I don't know. It's funny to see you worry like this. Are you not worried? I don't know. I feel very calm for some reason. That makes one of us. Pavilon, don't worry. I'm sure they'll turn out just fine. How can you be so sure? It's our child. How else could they turn out? Part of me almost hopes that there's like a cooking mechanic for like making the child's DNA, whatever. No, I'm not going to get into that. So we've got a bunch of pictures. Oh, we've got the kid now. Oh, we're jumping ahead. My name is Pavilon, sir. Pavilon, sir. Kevin. Where did you run off to? Sir, it would be my privilege to work with you. Pardon me, sir? I don't have time to play, Kevin. I have a lot of work to do. By the way, I love names from other cultures that are just like a little bit off a common American name. It almost just feels like it's from a George R.R. Martin story or something like that. It's a well-chosen name. I think they're doing well by their kid. Yes, sir. I've managed transport of hundreds of units of inventory per day. Pardon me, sir? Kevin, there you are. What are you wearing? Where's your shirt? It's a cape. Take that off. Let's get you dressed. No, I like it. That job was in India, sir, but... Kevin, wait there. Don't run. Bye, Kevin. Kevin, come back here. This has become a routine now. Yes, sir. Bachelor of Science in Physics, sir. Aye, that towel is so dirty, da. Here, wear this shirt, Kana. No! I'm not sure what some of those words were, and I don't know if I emphasized them correctly. But I'm doing that wrong in English occasionally, so it's fine. But, sir, you can just take me on a probation period, maybe. I'm driven, self-started, and a quick learner, sir. Put this on, Kana. Hurry up now. But I don't want to. Speak in Tamil, Kevin. I can't even understand what you're saying. Oh, interesting. So are they using maybe different colors to represent different languages? Like, has the white text always been Tamil and the yellow is English? You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay until then. Please, Kana. I understand, sir. Yes, good boy. Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for considering me. Good day. It is great to see them representing the actual end of a phone call. In most fictional media, people just hang up the phone after the content is done. Hello, Mr. Bachelor of Science. What happened? Same old. I'm telling you, it's time for it to go. To go where? What, my beard? Oh, I didn't... What? I didn't know she was going to say his beard had to go. That is not a position I would advocate for. Your clean shave theory doesn't hold water here. I spent half these calls asking them to repeat themselves. I should watch cartoons with Kevin. If I can understand those shows, maybe I can understand these people too. Yay! Yay is an English word? We can watch Batman together, Appa! Yes, but your son is going to forget Tamil at this rate. Did you know his friends call him Kevin? What's wrong with that? Speak in Tamilda. Well, what's wrong with that? It's only one letter that's different anyways. We thought it'd be easy on you growing up here. I love how, that was what I thought of first when I heard the name, and I love that that's also what, like, they're being very sort of thoughtful, trying to navigate this sort of hazardous space between making it, they're trying to make it easy for him to assimilate, but also they don't want him to fully assimilate. And it's like, it seems like a really, tough line to walk. Your father and I spent months agonizing over so many other names. If it's only one letter different, why is it so hard for your friends to say it? And Kevin means beautiful. It's such a lovely name, and it suits you so well. I don't want to be beautiful. I just want to be Kevin. He's brighter than us, Venba. He's learned to adapt. We haven't. You know he aced yesterday's English quiz? He did? Really? Good job. We should celebrate, Dakana. So sometimes they call him Da, sometimes they call him Kana, and now they call him Da Kana. I want to know what this word means. I want to understand. I'm sort of picking up a little bit of what it means, but not really. I want to understand it better. What do you want to eat? I'll make something special. Oh? Can we order pizza? Speak in Tamil, Kevin. We want pizza. Okay, I love this. Pizza is in yellow. It's the English word in the sentence. Like parota? Dosa? Idiapam? Ghee dosa? This guy just wants dosa with different things on it. Biryani? I've had biryani. I know what biryani is. Kari dosa? This guy just wants dosa. That's all he wants is dosa. I don't know what dosa is, but he wants it. Biryani is, it's very similar to a dish from the South called chicken bog, except Indian and probably better. I think it's so when I worked briefly for a couple of little stints in India, I was in Hyderabad. I think that biryani is one of the main dishes that Hyderabad is famous for. So that's why I know what biryani is. No, I'm tired of all these. I said I want pizza. Extra cheese. Extra toppings. You eat pizza all the time. Kevin, have you ever had putu? No. What's that? Well, I've only seen my mother make it before. It's a lot of fun to make. Reminds me of a rocket. Rocket? If this was my son, he would be like, I haven't heard of it before. It's terrible. I refuse to eat it. Yes, a lot of steam comes out when you make it. It looks just like a rocket launching. It does? Yes. But you know what? Let's just order pizza. There's no rocket, but you get a nice cardboard box. I mean, for a kid, cardboard box is pretty cool. Will it really look like a rocket launch? Do you want to see? This is great. I love these characters. All right, let's get started. Okay, so Coalición is telling me that apparently dosa is like is something similar to what I would think of as a burrito. So okay, I'm imagining there's probably a lot of big differences, but structurally it's like a burrito. Like it's some stuffed wrapped in a thing. I haven't made this before, but Amma has a recipe on it. Hopefully it's readable. Where's the rocket? We need to make the flour first, Yes, and we have to listen to some music. All right. Okay, so we need a bunch of rice and some water. We need to blend the rice. Blend the rice. Separate fine rice from chunks. Something about the chunks. Then combine 500 grams of fine rice with water. Okay, so and this is just the flour. Okay, so making putu is going to be multiple steps, and right now we're just making the flour. And so it's made out of rice flour, and you start with the rice, grind it up, and some of the rice will be ground up fine enough to become flour. You have to sift that out, and something about chunks, and then you soak it. Okay, let's make some flour. When do we get to the rocket part? Soon, Da. Be patient. Okay, so this is rice has already been soaked. This is the sieve. This is the water. Okay, so let's take the rice, pour it in the blender, turn on the blender. Okay, so now I've got blended rice. Do I put it in the sieve? Or do I need to make sure I'm doing this over the towel? Oh, I'm betting this is something that's in the... So I want to try to get the chunks. Okay, so I'm going to be sifting it. Oh, that's right. I'm sifting it onto the towel. Then I don't know what I do with the chunks after I've sifted it. But, okay, so let's grab the rice and put it in the sieve. I should shake the sieve over the towel. So shake, 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 shake. I'm manually shaking it. Okay, so I've got the flour. Should I... Okay, yeah, so Ranithcord was suggesting blending the chunks. I think that makes sense. Because then we can sift it more and make more flour. So what do you bet if I hadn't gotten that advice and we hadn't done this, I would have made not enough flour. Okay, so we've still got a few chunks left. We'll blend those. By the way, I appreciate having the brain trust in the chat helping me figure this stuff out faster than I would have on my own. And is this the last of it? I'm not even sure why I sifted it, since all of it was flour. And then, okay, so this is reblending the chunks. And so then I just put the fine rice in the water. All right, so gather it up, whoop, and water it. I think this is perfect. Why does this feel like flour, even though there was so much water? We have to mix the water and flour little by little. The final consistency should feel like slightly wet sand. Interesting, okay. All right, that wasn't too hard. Amma, when will we get to the rockets? Oh, but I just got an achievement for completing one recipe without messing up, which I had not gotten yet. I wonder how far... I'm betting that they have stats at the developer for how late in the game someone is when they get that achievement. And I'm wondering, I want to know what that curve looks like. All right, let's look at the recipe. So, we need flour and coconut. We need 4 tablespoons of something in water, 3 tablespoons of something. Put coconut layers as far away from each other as possible. Okay, so there's water in the bottom of the cylinder. We got this could be like this is coconut, this is coconut, this is coconut, and these are flour, like double servings of flour. Is that what we're doing? So it's like coconut, flour, flour, coconut, flour, flour, coconut? Maybe? Round of the Court says, Mom needed to take better care of this cookbook. Yeah, I agree. We need to, like, once we've learned how to do this stuff, we should be transcribing this into a fancier book for her son. Someday he'll appreciate Indian cuisine. Okay, so we've got this thing. All right, this is straightforward. Is it, though? Assemble the parts so the water steams and cooks what's above. Tricky part is figuring out how much rice and coconut is needed. And in what order. Coconut can crumble easily. Okay, so it looks like water. Okay, do I put this on this first? And then I put water in the bottom. And then I put the mold. Do I not put the mold on? Oh, there I do. And then we go, this is coconut flour, this is putu flour. So we'll do coconut. And then 2 scoops of flour. And then a coconut. And then 2 scoops of flour. And then a coconut. That looks like it matches the diagram. Close it up. Oh, I love that it shows me the interior when it's open. When I close it, it goes away. And then we turn it on. Round of the Court's pointing out that each layer was more than 1 tablespoon, wasn't it? Yeah. So I think what they're doing is they showed, okay, in the cookbook, they showed the layers and then they showed the amounts. I think the amounts in like the dark text, I think you don't use that information in the game. I think they put that information in there so that you have the real recipe. So I'm thinking they're telling us like this much coconut, this much rice flour. You could make this at home if you wanted to buy. I mean, all of this stuff requires specialized equipment. So, you know, I think most people aren't just going to like casually go and make it at home. But still, yeah, like I think that's what the numbers are for. I don't think we needed to use the numbers. I think we needed to use the layers diagram. Here it goes. That is like a rocket. Oh, by the way, I love the way the soundtrack worked just there. Like, it felt like it was a continuous song, but then they did the finale with the rocket. That was great. Wow, that was so cool. Venba, I can't believe it didn't fall. Amma, can we do that again? We made another thing. I want to learn how to make that other thing, too. Oh, well. We're unable to offer you our secondary teacher position at this time. However, we encourage you to apply again next year. Man, these guys cannot catch a break when it comes to work. Is he asleep? I think so. Kevin? Yes, he is. Good. So that interview. Another dead end? Yes. I think I knew that before I took the call. No relevant Canadian work experience. We'll keep you on file. I don't know. I feel like I deluded us into thinking we can make it work here. Well, don't worry. I'll go to the employment office again tomorrow. What? I know you don't like Suresh, but I think you should take that sales job at his company. We really are at the end of our rope. We're behind on rent again. We haven't sent money home in a while. I thought moving here would be our chance to start over. That even here we still have to beg people like Suresh. It's not begging. I know. I'll call him tomorrow. Thank you. But honestly, I think you're more qualified for sales than I am. I mean, the way you sold Kevin on that Putu today. You're really good with kids. I can't believe you're having a hard time teaching in school. Well, it's not like my teaching back home. It makes me worry about Kevin. Why? Well, back home, I could get the class to laugh, open up. Get them in the mood to learn, you know? But it's harder here. What does that have to do with Kevin? I just feel like there's a wall between me and my class. I can't connect with them. They lead very different lives than we did. And I feel that same wall growing around Kevin. How do you mean? What if I can't connect with Kevin? It's so hard to even talk to him. He speaks in English all the time. And he talks so fast. It's hard to understand him. It's like he's in a different world than us. Well, it's more than just that. I thought I could at least get him to listen to music or watch some movies from back home. But he'd rather watch Home Alone for the 100th time. I wonder what year this is. I don't know. I'm worried. These things bother me too. We chose to bring him up here, not him. I accented that wrong, but whatever. We did it because we thought he'd have a better life here. And he does. This place comes with better education and opportunities, but it also comes with its own culture, language, values. We can't pick and choose the ones we want and ask him to ignore the others. I think it's natural that any kid wants to fit in, right? Yes, maybe. It's just scary. So Coalición is guessing that Venba might need to eventually start a business making food, and that's going to be the salvation of her family. Don't worry, Venba. He'll turn out just fine. How are you so sure? He's our child. How else will he turn out? Hey, you turned my words against me. Okay, so Coalición says that according to Steam, this is set in the 80s. So I imagine that probably means... Oh, here we go, 1995. Okay, it has been saying the date. I've just not been paying attention to it. Why are his eyes closed? What is that guy? That must be a thing that if you're, from India, you know what that dude is. But I don't know what he is. But yeah, it does kind of make sense, actually, that basically... I think the developers of this game are Kevin. I think that they're sort of like, I'm wondering it because developers of this game are probably around my age, which means growing up in the 80s and 90s. So I'm betting that this is sort of them making. I don't know this for sure. I don't know anything about the developers, but I'm betting that this is them making kind of a tribute to their parents, who maybe brought them to North America, and And it's them sort of like working through the experience of being like a child of immigrants, connecting with their heritage culture or something like that. This is interesting. There's a lot of like sort of slow-paced indie games that are more about the characters than they are about the game mechanics that I start yawning a little bit during. But this is not it. Like this feels very like, I don't know. There's a lack of arbitrariness to this, where it's like you feel like somebody really feels this as they're writing it. Like you feel like somebody has lived this life, and they're giving you a window into it rather than just making some stuff happen so that the game has a motivator behind it. Go on, tell her. His name is Pavlon. He's my dad. Pavlan. She says Appa is not at the office. Does she know what time he left? Do you know what time my dad left the office? Oh, it like messes up the paper that his words are written on because she barely understands it. Nope. Okay, well, does she at least know if he came in today? Did you see my dad today? Ask her if he usually leaves with anybody. Oh, what? Oh my gosh! She suspects her husband is cheating on her, but she has to do her investigation through her son because she doesn't speak English. That's so awkward for Kevin. Maybe we can call them? Does he usually go home with someone? She says, no, Dad usually leaves alone, and he's very quiet. She says all the sales staff left at 5 p.m. today. She says he must have left then, too. Okay, thank you. Renethcord points out that the dad's picture on the fridge didn't have a beard, so maybe he shaved to, like, compromise and get a job the way that his wife wanted him to. But it might indicate that he's a little unhappy. Why are we walking through the park, Amma? Do you think Appa will be here? I don't know, Kana. Sometimes your Appa loves to walk instead of taking the bus. If he decided to walk home from the office, it should be through here. But the lady said Appa left at 5. What's taking him so long? Do you think he went somewhere else first? But where would he go for this long? I don't know, Kevin. Enough with your questions. Sorry, Kana. I'm just worried about Appa. Why are you worried? Do you think something happened to him? No, I'm sure he's fine. You don't have to stay quiet, Kevin. Here, you can ask me anything you want. Anything? Yes, and I'll answer it. But only if you ask it in Tamil. Okay? Ooh, okay, I can do that. Okay. Okay, I can do that, he says in Tamil. Why did that lady say that Appa is very quiet? He talks a lot at home. Oh, look at you go. See, you can speak Tamil when you want to. Huh. I don't know. Maybe it's that they don't talk to him. What do you mean? Nothing. He doesn't really like his job, Kevin. Maybe that's why. He was a writer back home, right? Did he like his job then? Oh, yes, he loved to write. How come I never see him write at home? Well, he always writes when something bothers him. Back home, that used to be every day. Maybe you should bug him more. What did you do back home? Same as here. I was a teacher. And not just a supply teacher. I taught math for 9 to 12th standard. Wait, what's a supply teacher? Is that a Canadian thing? Were you a cool teacher? What's a cool teacher? Fun and easygoing? Like, were the kids scared of you? Only kids named Kevin. I don't know. I like to think I was good at it. My classes were always fun for the students. Though I don't think I'm a cool teacher here. Ranithcord says, oh, now you're playing as the son. Oh, I guess that's right. I guess I did make a dialogue choice for him instead of for her. I hadn't thought about the difference there. I miss those days. But you teach here too. It's not the same. Why not? I don't know. It's just not. So because she has trouble with English, I'm assuming she must teach in like a Tamil school, like an Indian school, like in like an enclave community or something. Because if she has so much trouble understanding him, I'm wondering if, because maybe she has a language barrier with her students, but she hasn't said she has a language barrier with her students. But I'm very interested in the fact that I'm controlling the pace of this. But they've got a background that can scroll by. Like, I can sit here forever. And they've made a background that can scroll by indefinitely. But at some point, this is probably going to come to a point where it has to go to a particular conclusion. I'm wondering how they're going to grapple with the fact that the background could be anywhere at that time. Why did you move here? It wasn't an easy choice. Pavlon wanted to be with me, and I couldn't imagine being with anyone else. But a lot of people took issue with us being together, and they decided to make it our problem. Huh. I wonder what divided them. It was getting really hard to deal with it, so we gambled on a fresh start here and took it. Was it like a religious difference or a class difference? Amma, I see Appa. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What could she see? What's she looking at? I'm smiling. It's probably something very sad. But I don't know what it is. Has he collapsed? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. His name was spelled weird. Did he get in a fight? Did somebody attack him? Or did he collapse and like fell on his face somewhere? Tell me what happened. By the way, Raneth Court is suggesting that maybe a supply teacher is like a substitute teacher. That seems like a good guess. Nothing, no matter how dear, should be sought at the expense of one's honor. Oh, wow. Oh, we're getting older. Wait a minute. They're older, but is he wearing the same glasses with tape for over a decade? What? How dire is their situation? Okay, I mean, I don't know about the Canadian medical system, but are glasses one of the things you should be able to get a hold of if you need them? I don't know. I don't know how Canada works. Wow. That's certainly, yeah, a co-listener saying this underscores how poor they are. Yeah, I guess so. Wow. Okay, I just finished cutting up the onions too. So again, I don't know I still don't know what happened to him. Like, was someone aggressive towards him, or did he just like fall on his face? Like, I don't know. Anyway, I just finished cutting up the onions. I think you should have everything you need. Yes, thanks, Pa. I'll go help Cavan pack. So is Cavan going to college now? All right, so I don't want to play through this entire game here because I want people to have, mysteries and stuff. So let's make this our last. Oh, we're making biryani? Oh, making biryani gravy. And it's just like, what? So let's make this our last cooking sequence. Okay, this recipe is completely unreadable. Layered biryani is really fancy. I've never made it that way before, but I've seen Amma make it the night before we left India. Maybe I can try to remember them. Okay, so I've got these little, a memory. There's a logic to the order you add these 4 ingredients in. You want all of them to fry in the oil nicely, but the ingredient you add first will always fry more in the oil than the one you add next. Right, so if I want onions to turn golden brown, they need to be fried the most. Okay, so onions might be the one that needs to fry the longest. And remember, once you add tomatoes, they release so much water it's hard for anything to fry after. Okay, so it probably starts with onions and ends with tomatoes. But I don't know. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. I don't want to. No, I didn't actually know that. Yes, I don't want to actually go through all of this again. I didn't know that's what pushing the Y button would do. Okay, so I've got these 4 ingredients. So we probably start with onions, and then garlic paste and chilies go somewhere in the middle, and then tomatoes are last. I wonder if I'll get hints from some of these other things. Here's the marinated beef. Now the beef goes in after we add all the salt and powders. That order is important. So beef after salt and powders. Then add water and let it reduce. So water last? Okay. So this is her memory of Amma telling her this, and she's written it down. But now we've lost that. Okay, so remember, add all these first. Okay. So just a bunch of potpourri basically goes in first. These ingredients so expensive. Amma, why are you going through all this trouble? It's okay, Di. It's a big... Is it Di or is it D? It's okay, D, maybe? It's a big thing to leave to another country. I don't know when I'll be able to cook for you again. Okay, so we got bay leaves. Okay, so I'm assuming that memory seemed like it was just all of the stuff over on the right side. So... Okay, so let me just... So this was after the salt and powders. Okay, but is this... Okay, so this does not actually show the powders. This is just showing leaves and chunky things. So it's like the cardamom, the bay leaves, the fennel seeds, and the cloves. Those go in first. Then, let's look at the onions memory. You want to... Okay, yeah, so... Okay, so I'm going to be making this up. Like, I don't think I have enough information to actually figure this out. I think I have to experiment. So let's start with the chunky stuff. Cardamom goes in, and then the bay leaves, fennel seeds, and cloves. I can never get tired of how great toasted whole spices smell. Amma, I wish you could see how much this cost here. You would lose your mind over these prices. I don't know if she means they're expensive or cheap, honestly. Okay, so onions was first. And then I don't know... So it was the water content of the tomatoes that made them scary to put in anything but last. So paste is probably also going to have higher water content, so I'm going to go chilies first. They remind me more of the onions, then garlic paste, then tomatoes. Of course the tomatoes go in last. You went through a lot of trouble for this recipe book, Amma. I'm sorry I couldn't take better care of it. But I'm fixing these now, and I hope Kavin can appreciate it when he cooks these. If he ever does. Okay, so then the powders go in. So let's go chili powder, turmeric, and what was this? Biryani masala. Biryani masala and salt. And then the beef goes in. And then water to reduce. This smells divine. I think we just need to let it simmer for 30 minutes and then we can start the layering. Did I do it? I think maybe I got it. Gravy is done. Yes. All that's left is the biryani. Hope I can finish it before Kavin leaves. Okay, so biryani is like it's like a chicken and rice mixture, I think. If I'm remembering it right. Layered biryani. Ingredients, who knows? But the pattern is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So we don't know what they are. Once it's done, sit in low flame for 30 minutes. So, okay. So we've got one ingredient that only goes in once. It goes in at the top. And then the others go in multiple layers. At least the second part is salvageable. I think the idea is to put everything in the pot, seal it tightly, and let it simmer together. The 1, 2, 3 might refer to the different layers of gravy, rice, and other things. But in what order? Maybe I can try to remember. I love this soundtrack, by the way. I see. We just add all of these together on top of the rice layer. On top of the rice layer. And that's the final layer? Yes. What's wrong, Amma? Well, Amma, why are you crying? You know we'll visit often, and once things are better, we'll come back here. This is our home. Where else will we go? I know, Kana. It's just so far away. I love all the different terms of endearment that they have. Okay, so this is the pot. Okay, hold on. So that third layer is all of this stuff, the leaves and the whatever. So, and it's on top of the rice layer. So does that mean, and then let me look at the recipe again. Okay, so the last thing she put on was number 3, and it was a bunch of stuff. And it was on top of the rice there. So 2 is rice, which means 1 is probably the gravy? So it's gravy, rice, gravy, rice? Except I don't know, isn't the gravy already in the pot? I'm not sure what they're expecting of me here. Oh, yeah. Raneth Court is suggesting, of course that makes sense. Use the bowl to extract some gravy so that you can put the rice layer on top, then put the gravy back on, then the rice layer, and then you put everything else on. Is there anything about... No, not here. This image. I mean, it feels like the leaves are kind of last, but maybe it doesn't matter that much. I guess I'll just go around the table and end with the leaves. Some ghee on there, some cilantro, some onions, saffron milk, I guess, and mint. I think this is right. I just have to cover it with the lid now. Okay, I think this is it. Just need to keep the flame very low and let it all cook together. The rice will fully absorb all the moisture from the gravy, deeply flavoring it. I can't wait. Should be good now. Looks amazing! Raneth Court says this is making him hungry. Family beef. So, okay, I guess you can make beef biryani. I only had chicken biryani, I think. But apparently beef biryani is also a thing. If I'm remembering right. How is it? Oh, it's so good. Beef really is the best. Not talking to you, Pa. Oh, it's really good, Amma. I'm glad. I won't get many chances to cook for you like this again. Amma, stop being so dramatic. I'm just moving out for university. Yes, Kana, but we'll miss you. Have you packed everything? It's a long drive. We might have to get gas on the way. Oh, as it turns out, I'm getting gas from eating your biryani. Just kidding. My friends are driving there today after all. So I'll be going with them. Oh. This way you and Appa won't have to drive all day. I was looking forward to the drive. We could all spend some time together before we send you off. It's not a hassle at all for us to drive you. We'd love to. Last chance for us to annoy you with unsolicited advice. Oh, Amma, that would be nice. But I think it's just easier this way. You can always annoy me another time. Okay, Kana, sure. Did I even get any of the meat pieces? I love that Pa is just having a completely different situation. Like, she's having this whole conversation about, like, missing her son, and he's just like, where's my beef? Maybe we can drive there next week, drop off some food. Oh, I almost forgot. Will your friend's car have enough space for some containers? I don't know. Why? I packed a lot more of the biryani. This reminds me of Ms. Marvel. That, like, the mom in Ms. Marvel would just always pack people up with, like, giant piles of, like, Rubbermaids full of food. I also packed some poties, pickles, and sweets. Did you give all the pieces to Kavan? Amma, I can't take that in the car. Why not? I've packed for your friends, too. You can all eat. Amma, they don't want biryani. And the whole car will smell. I don't want them in my dorm either. You don't want any of it? Kavan, I put a lot of effort into making it all this week. I didn't ask you to. Why are you getting mad? I know you didn't ask. But what will you even eat there? I don't know. I mean, you didn't provide him with enough biryani to get him through an entire semester, so he will eat something. There are cafeterias, instant noodles, whatever. I'll figure it out. I can't believe she gave him all the pieces. I'm just eating kuska here. That's not healthy, Kevin. You can't eat out every day. Literally everyone there will be doing that. I'm just trying to be helpful. Well, you're not. Why don't you just take some of it? You don't have to eat it. I said no, Amma. I'm done with this. This is a fresh start for me. I don't want to smell like Little India anymore. I just want to be normal. For once. Yikes. Kana. The language you speak, the food you eat, the clothes you wear, only you should decide that, Kavan. You don't have to change who you are for us, but just be sure you're not changing who you are for anyone else either. There's a wonderful and beautiful culture that's a part of you. It would be a shame if you chose not to be a part of it. Just because you think it's not normal. Then why did we even move here? We should have just stayed in India. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell. It's just, there's no need to create a fuss over any of this. It's not like you're never going to see me again. I'll visit often, okay? Except they're remembering that they never went home after they moved to Canada. Okay. And I'll call every week, too. So please try not to worry. Okay? Okay. Like watching him go. Is that them? Yes, I think so. Who's that girl? I've never seen her before. Smart kid. That's why he didn't want us to drive him. Chip off the old block. I like how the dad is like more into this than the mom is. There he goes. Like the dad's just worried about whether he's getting enough beef chunks in his biryani. I suppose it's good that he's so independent. Makes his own choices. Even if they are so incorrect. Our choices were mostly made for us already. Whatever he chooses, at least it'll be his own decision. We just have to wait patiently for him to come back to us. Until then, it's just the two of us again, huh? Just like old times. Aww. We're unable to offer you our secondary teacher position at this time. However, we encourage you to apply again next year. Has she just been applying to be a full-time secondary teacher every year this whole time, and they're just keeping her in the substitute pool? Oh, did Kevin reach the university? Did he text or call yet? No. We told him to text or call when he gets there, right? Yes. Well, maybe he hasn't got... Oh, he has. I kept waiting and got worried, so I finally called him. He just said he forgot to inform us and hurried to hang up. Well, it's a big day after all. I'm sure he has a lot going on there. Oh, sure, let your son do as he likes. I'm not going to bother anymore. He doesn't want to eat what we make. He doesn't want to speak in Tamil. He doesn't even want the name we gave him. I'm done chasing after him. Yes, you're right. Oh, wait. He forgot his headphones in his room. I was going to bring them to him sometime next week. But maybe we should just let him pick it up whenever he's here next. Oh, he did? Of course not, Pavlan. We should help if we can. If he uses those headphones all the time, it'll be hard for him without that. What? What? Oh, you made that up. Is there anything more fleeting than your anger towards Kavin? That's what being a parent is, I suppose. When Kavin says he wants to pursue writing, I was so happy. Finally, something we have in common. I wanted to show him all the works that inspired me and all the poems and stories that I love. And the ones you wrote, too. All the stories you read to him as a child were just ones you wrote on the spot. Yes, but I doubt he even remembers that. I don't know if he can read Tamil literature, much less understand it. I used to wonder why he wanted to turn his back on all the unique and special things his roots have to offer. But after that night in the park, maybe he's thinking it's better not to be unique or stand out in any way. Okay, yeah, so I get the sense that he was attacked for some reason, possibly to do with his ethnicity. And I don't think we can blame him for that. I guess it wasn't the best decision to move. I don't get to write here. You don't get to teach here. It's hard for Kevin to be who he really wants to be here. Maybe you should have stayed. If you're going to suggest I would have been better off not moving here with you, my anger is going to be anything but fleeting. But come on. I know how much you miss home. Wouldn't you be happier back there? If I felt like I didn't have anyone, then yes, maybe I'd be happier there. But I have Kevin, and I have you. Home is where you two are. And now my home is split up and destroyed. Okay, we're starting a new time, which means it's time for me to quit. Because I don't want to play this entire game on the stream and leave no one with any reason to play it themselves. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if I bought this or if it was on Game Pass. I should go check. So, yeah, let me tell you how you can get this. Yes, It is on Game Pass. So yeah, so this game is on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, go and grab it. Won't cost you any extra. If you don't have Game Pass, but you thought this seemed cool and you want to see how the story ends, like, go and pick it up. I mean, it's a little indie game. You can probably manage it. And I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with this. You've seen me play a lot of indie games on here that have this sort of like, it's the vibes and it's about this character and their interesting, their background and who they are. And a lot of those I end up just sort of like being, oh, this is interesting, and just kind of like not really engaging with it. This one really grabbed me, and I fully intend to completely to complete the game on my own, not on the stream. So, congrats to the folks who made this. They really found a way into this story that made it appeal to somebody like I have not been through this experience, but it really connected with me, and I feel like I understand these people, and I want to know what's going to happen in their lives and how they're going to come to terms with all of the just really difficult but understandable tensions that they're all feeling. So really well done. These developers should be very proud of themselves. I hope that this game is getting enough attention. I don't really know one way or the other, but it really deserves it. Yeah, so it looks like, okay, so yeah, so folks are, there's some folks in the chat who've read stuff that I didn't read. That they're thinking that they're trying to figure out what university he went to. It looks like he went to a university in Buffalo. So, is he actually going to the United States? Is he going to New York from where they are? That's interesting. So, wow, yeah, he really is. So it's not just he's going to somewhere else in Canada. He's going to a different country, which probably does make him a little bit more far away, in terms of just how easy it is to visit. Okay, so anyway, let's wrap this up. But yeah, I'm so glad that I played this. And big thanks to my friend Eka on Twitter. Actually called my attention to this game. He's the reason I knew what it was and wanted to try it out. So thanks, Eka. And thanks everybody else. Other games.